20 fatalities were reported earlier in the morning in California, as the Extinction Revolution, a radical branch of the Extinction Rebellion bent on overwhelmingly green policies and leftist governments and backed by tens, if not hundreds of millions, makes a move. Protests spring up worldwide. Fatalities have also been reported in Moscow, Tokyo, London, Brasilia. Kyoto has been announced an Extinction Revolution stronghold, as the already radical terrorist group grows a much more radical Japanese branch, one that has heavily militarized and seized many military assets, and had military personnel defect to them. Japan is dangerously unstable at the moment. Moscow has today been announced as free of the influence of the recognized government of Russia. The nation has relocated its government to Yekaterinburg as other large cities threaten to fall to Extinction Revolution forces. Russia has called for the UN to do something and has been requesting military aid from other nations. The UN finally reacted today, forming the United Nations Joint Anti-Revolutionary Task Force Actual, or UNIJATA, to combat the revolutionaries. The organization has put out a statement condemning the Extinction Revolution and has demanded that all members of the UN contribute large swaths of their military resources towards UNIJATA in order to combat the global civil war. Some fear they have acted too late, as Spain fell entirely to Extinction Revolution forces yesterday, and Portugal is struggling to continue winning border conflicts under overwhelming numbers, and with a dirty bomb set off earlier today in the city Lisbon, killing hundreds, and with the current count on those with radiation poisoning in the thousands. Guerrilla conflicts spring up all over the world and striking behind governmentalist lines, reportedly crippling the remaining Saudi Arabian military as Riyadh falls. UNIJATA was given control of certain sections of the British government and full control of its military as the last stronghold in London falls, and the government is quickly moved to Manchester. The same thing has happened with Japan, the exiled government of Spain, and very many, though less notable, nations. Today, UNIJATA launched an offensive on the first Extinction Revolution stronghold of Kyoto out of the blue, reportedly slaughtering hundreds of thousands with overwhelming military force. Atrocities massively violating human rights similar to the rape of Nanjing have been reported. Many soldiers, and indeed the leaders of the operation themselves, have been accused of war crimes. Last week, the investigative newspaper, The International Moon, was shut down by UNIJATA after putting out a slew of anti-UNIJATA articles and headlines. While the European Integrity would like to state its support of UNIJATA, we question if this is a violation of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, and just how influential UNIJATA is becoming in the UN as a whole. The first headline The International Moon put out on its final weeks was on reports of masses of people turning on each other in a murderous suicidal frenzy, and some dropping dead, all in the areas worst affected by climate change, as the Extinction Rebellion is protesting and warring for change of. We wonder what these reports were actually about, and in fact the European Integrity will take up the mantle of the International Moon, trying to investigate said instances of suicidal and murderous frenzies. Clap.